Hello, hello, hello. What is up, everyone? My name's Brenner. Welcome to my channel. This is Mr. Liquor Sipper, and today we're going to be doing a review over something that used to be one of those bourbon items that you used to have to ask a bunch of people, and then somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I know a guy." So that's one of these. This is Maker's Mark 101. We're gonna find out if this thing, well, just like some of the other Maker's Mark that we've reviewed in the past, does Maker's Mark 101 meet the mark? Let's find out if this is a sipper or a skipper. If you're interested, then let's go! Alright, so as we know, there's a multitude of other Maker's Mark. This one right here happens to be, at least on the box, and well, on the bottle it says the same thing. It says that it's a limited release. How limited, I could not tell you, but this is, again, like I said, this was a bottle at some point that was a little bit more rare than the others. It is kind of cool how they package this. As we know, Maker's Mark is pretty good at doing their packaging, be it sticking it in a Christmas stocking or sticking it in your underwear for a little bit more girth. Anyway, so Maker's Mark clocks in, your normal Maker's Mark clocks in at about a 90 proof. Your Maker's Mark cast strength, that'll hover around 112 proof. I think the one I have may be around 114 point something or other. And then you have this one here that is 101 proof, and I believe they also have a 90 proof if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. Was this a happy accident? Did they do this intentional? Did they make it and then cast strength and then they're like, fuck, let's water it down to 101 proof just simply so they could compete against the Wild Turkey 101s of the world? Who knows? So whether this was a happy accident or specifically designed, we don't really know. But what I can say, if you're looking for a way to see how proof plays into a whiskey release, you and some of your friends can pick this up. I picked this up at Total Wine, which is, I mean, everywhere has Total Wine, right? Well, for the most part, unless you're somewhere weird, like, I don't know, Iraq, which I don't think that they would have it there, or Africa or something. I don't know, do they have, I don't know, you'd be surprised at the weird places. Anyway, right there, I just started rambling a little bit, so I'm just gonna chop that part off and delete it, and we're just gonna go straight into this shindig because, after all, it's Maker's Mark. We've discussed Maker's Mark a multitude of times. I'm pretty sure that other whiskey channels have discussed it also a multitude of times. So we're just gonna jump in. Dude, this box is really moving. Okay. If the box is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. I guess it's ready. It's ready for me to get into this. So we're just gonna go ahead. We're just gonna go into this because, after all, this is the reviews. Also, I'm working on a little project. We're gonna start working on something that's a little bit more of a spoofy doofy, and it's going to be called Whiskey Conspiracies. And it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be entertaining. It's not technically factual things. It's more of like entertainment, but it resolves. Well, I guess some things will be resolved, but it revolves around whiskey itself. All right. Now, as we know, when you come to this channel, you know it's never going to be boring, and you know it's never going to be normal. So you can always expect the best thing on the planet to ever happen is nosing for newbies. All right, I'm excited. I'm excited about this one. I don't know. I fell into this Maker's Mark by accident just today. I was gonna do a completely different review, which I do not disclose. I've never opened this bottle, I've never smelt this bottle, I've never tasted this bottle, as we do everything as a fresh crack, a fresh pour, and we do everything for the first time on this so you can get my real live action review. This is my avatar. All right, let's see. It takes two to make a thing alright. It takes two to make it outside. Oh boy, okay, that's my Tourette's kicking in there. Alright, this smells like... Oh, wait a minute. Alrighty then, that's what that reminded me of. It smells like Grandma's freshly baked banana nut bread. But, let's be real. They ended up getting burnt, resulting in a traumatic house fire, so I guess it smells more like Grandma's burnt down house now. Sorry, Grandma. Actually, sorry, that story is actually from a friend of mine. His name's Tim, so if he's watching, he really did that. He burnt down half his grandmother and grandfather's house. Swell guy, though. Good guy. He's very accomplished now, works for Apple, but he still burnt down his grandparents' house. Not everyone can say that. It also smells like cheap Dollar Tree store perfume, because everyone loves cheap perfume. Smell like a cheap whore. And then it smells like, the back seat of Kid Rock's Cadillac. This is after his experience with Pamela Anderson. That being said, it also smells like small little hints of Tony Soprano's tracksuit. Get a whiff of that. Now, to the eye of this, hence why I also have the Maker's Mark red in the back. It just fits the theme. But if you can see this, it has a... Oh, can I reach it? It has like a reddish caramel type look to it. At least it does to me from where I'm at. Might be all the red reflecting, I don't know. But let's go ahead and go to the real nose. So, as to be expected with anything... Ooh, that smells kind of good. It smells oak caramel, which is normal. But caramel corn, if you will, and then vanilla fondant. Like the stuff that you put on cakes or something. Dried dark fruit, but what it really reminds me of is like a cherry Twizzler has been put in here. And it's just, which is very prominent. So I guess like the cherry licorice type smell is in there. Like I feel like that's what it's gonna taste like. It smells really good. It has a little bit of slight roasted nuts in there. And there's a little bit of the citrusness that's in there as well. Baking spice as to be expected because, well, you can't bake cookies without baking spices. Even though I said nothing about that. Also, you can't have belts without leather. And, well, I guess you could, but maybe pleather. But this smells more like leather. So, but a good leather, like a Gucci one. Anyway, said, it smells kind of earthy, like Captain Planet. I'm just kidding. I don't know where that came from, but it does have an earthly scent to it. So earthly, and greetings earthlings, it has a earthy scent to it. So let's go to the palate. Okay, just to be upfront with everyone here too, I'm not the biggest fan of Maker's Mark. It's very traditional. It's very cliche for anyone that's into whiskey to name off Maker's Mark. I almost put it in the same category as like a Jack Daniel's or something like that. I don't know why, okay? That may piss some people off, but these are just my opinions. If you don't like my opinions, then jump off the fucking channel. Or you can stay on and just be entertained because that's fun too. But really, there is definitely the strong oak there. There is a sweetness of that vanilla. And just like I thought I smelt, there's definitely that cherry Twizzler that is in there. I think I have lice. Oh my god, my head's itching. That fucking hotel probably gave it to me. Oh my god, I have hives. Calamine lotion. Okay, that was my weird freak out for this evening. So actually, just based upon the first sip, which I normally cut out the other sips that I do just to recalibrate my palate after I have been drinking already for 12 hours straight. That's not true. The Twizzler is in there. I love this. Is this a sipper or skipper? This is definitely a sipper. You can purchase this for $40, especially for something that, well, it claims to be what does it say here? A limited release. There's only 101,000 bottles released or some bullshit. I just made that up. Okay, that's not true, but it's a limited release. I don't know exactly what that means when it comes to this. A lot of times it looks like to me, Maker's Mark will have something that is a limited release, and then what they end up doing, because it ends up doing well, they end up just having it as a consistent release. Again, we don't know the exact origins, if this was an accident or not. If it was in fact an accident, then I don't foresee this being something they consistently release. Therefore, because of that, I will hold this in a safe. I'm just kidding. But that stuff being said, you really don't know. I don't know. It's like they just, for whatever reason, they did not disclose that. Some of the other stuff is easy to come by. This one is not bad. It is my favorite one of the Maker's Mark lineup. To me, you couldn't go wrong with it. It is warm. It's nice on the palate. It's soothing. I feel like this is very good for a winter type whiskey, personally. I don't know. I've been saying that lately, and it could be just potentially because we're coming up on the fall. But I feel like this is a good fall sipper, good winter sipper. It's not overly dramatic, and also because it is a clean sipper to me as far as the burn is concerned. It's not a heavy burn. It has I would say a short mid-tier finish on the back end. So I guess it's like an in-betweener. You know, it doesn't last very long, but it doesn't last too short. And it's not too medium. It's like in between the medium and the quick. So you want to have another sip. So hang on, I'm gonna edit right here. Yeah, this is cool too. You know why? Because I feel like this right here, it sounds stupid, but this little part right here that I pulled off reminds me of a Twizzler pull and peel. So it literally actually captures the essence of the cherry Twizzler that I was talking about that is in here. Also the fact that my wife and I have bought about 20 packages of the family share. So that is also my confession for today. All the other stuff aside, I might have a gummy problem. I like my gummies. Okay, but seriously, all right, so this Maker's Mark 101, how does it fare? The only way to really know, I think, is to do a side-by-side blind tasting, which I'm not doing tonight. I would say it actually holds its own pretty well. Is it better than Wild Turkey 101? This has a little bit of that cinnamon in it, which reminds me a little bit of the Baker's 7, which I really, for whatever reason, I don't really like that, but I like it with the whiskey. I'm gonna have to do a blind tasting of this because I cannot pinpoint if this is 100% better than the 101 or if it's not. And then you can't forget your kickin' chicken, and I always forget this. It's the Fighting Cock. Okay, Fighting Cock is really good. It has a little bit different flavor profile on it that is not quite as cinnamony. But it does match some of the darker fruits that are in there. But this one has that definite strong cherry, even get that little bit of a licorice taste in it. And I really like it because, like I just confessed, I like gummies and gummy bears and I guess licorice, not the black licorice, because that's disgusting and reminds me too much of Jaeger, and I might have a vomiting problem if I do that. On a scale from 1 to 10, it doesn't really fucking matter because I said it's a sipper. So if you see it, $40. Go out and buy it. It's a good purchase. 40 bucks, you can't beat it for potentially something that is going to be limited. After all of that being said, I appreciate you guys jumping into the glass with me, sipping on some information. Don't forget to tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your boss that's an asshole, and all your co-workers about Mr. Liquor Sipper and how much of a good time we have snorting lines and drinking whiskey and talking about a bunch of nonsense and just being friends here on Mr. Liquor Sipper's neighborhood. Anyway, I guess until next time, it's gonna be haircut for those nippers for Mr. Liquor Sipper, and we'll see ya. Cheers and keep on sipping. Don't gotta keep on turning. We're sipping on the Makers. We're sipping on the Makers. Like, subscribe, so we can multiply and divide.